Hey, it's Gina. And today I wanted to talk about two emotions that get really confused. One is guilt, and the other is shame. Now, when I ask people if they know shame, most people won't say they experience shame, especially if they haven't had big T traumas such as, say, sexual abuse or physical abuse, things that maybe they would kind of automatically assume is attributed to shame. But shame is a universal emotion, and we all have it. We all experience it. And if anybody tells you that they've never experienced it or they don't have it, they're either not in tune with their emotions or they, um, are denying that it actually is part of their reality. So guilt is not fleeing, but it's something that, it basically is, I did something bad. If I didn't study for a test and I got an F on that test, I might feel guilty that I could have done better or I should have done something different and that I might experience some guilt. But that can also be fixed. Guilt is something that I can study better for the next test, or I can do better with conversations. Or if I'm a parent and I yell at my teenager, I might feel guilty that I did that, but I can circle back around and I can repair that by apologizing, taking accountability. And so guilt is something that is much more repairable. Now, shame is much more deep. Shame goes to the core of our existence, and it's a black and white, all or nothing kind of thinking. And so when we're dealing with shame triggers are things like, I'm not good enough. It doesn't mean that I wasn't good enough in this one situation. It means I'm just not good enough ever. I've never, ever been good enough. And that's pretty significant. And teens in today's world are experiencing this at a really high level. Other things that are really common are things like, I'm too much. If they feel like being themselves is too much and friends don't like them, then they are going to decrease who they are. And that sense of I'm too much is a huge shame trigger. We have tons of shame triggers, but I just wanted to identify some of the most common ones, things like I'm not seen, I'm not heard, I'm not deserving, I'm not good enough. These are core negative cognitions or negative beliefs. Those are universal terms. You can use either one, but they define shame. And today's teens are not aware of how to dissect those shame triggers, how to zoom out and see things in a different lens. And so that's what I teach teens, whether they're doing one-on-one work with me or you're doing some coaching in my Combating Teen Anxiety program. You're going to learn what your specific shame triggers are, and you're going to learn how to combat those and to zoom out, to take some perspective, to have some self-compassion, and to recognize how do we get ourselves out of a shame storm. So that's the difference. Guilt, I did something bad. Shame, I am bad. Very different. And we need to be able to learn the difference and help our teens understand how to desensitize that if we want them to be healthy, functioning adults.